Hey everybody, my name is Matthew and I'm going over the properties of magma. And just bear with me if I'm kind of looking at my computer because I just want to read the definitions out and then be able to explain it easier, So the two properties of magma are physical and chemical properties. And physical properties are any characteristic of a substance that can be observed or measured without changing the composition of the substance, which is easier to understand once you understand what a chemical property is. And a chemical property is any property that produces a change in the composition of the matter. So that would, for an example for a chemical property, that would be the ability to burn or combine or react with other substances. And examples of physical properties of magma are density, hardness, melting point, boiling point, and whether it is magnetic or it isn't. So, another thing that goes into magma and is very important to understand is viscosity. And viscosity is, the easiest way to explain it is the temperature and how it flows, and how it's going to flow out of the earth or a volcano or whatever it is. So, high viscosity is low temperature, so it's going to move very slow. And low viscosity is very high temperature and it moves at a lot faster pace, And that means that it's going to spread quicker and get to wherever it's going quicker. And something that I could explain that with is honey and how it flows out. So I'm going to show you just on a paper plate here how honey is going to flow slowly down the plate and how it moves very slowly. And that would kind of match exactly how high viscosity would be. Because high viscosity is very low temperature and flows very slowly. And low viscosity, I could explain if I took a bottle of water and poured it on this, which obviously I'm not going to do because I don't want to get water all over my computer and everything. But something to show you is this picture right here is showing kind of like a river that's created by magma, and that is showing very low viscosity because it flows very easily. And another thing to go into the properties of it is how liquids have different viscosities because of the particles that make them up. And it's the silica content pretty much. So silica is made of silicon and oxygen. The more silica, the higher viscosity it will be. So it'll be slow moving. And the less silica means the faster it will move and the lower viscosity, obviously. So that is pretty much the basics of the properties of magma and what really goes into them. And I can read out another thing here that's going to go kind of more in detail. And that says, a physical property is any characteristic of a substance that can be observed or measured without changing the composition of the substance. A substance always has the same physical properties under particular conditions. And that's another example of that would be mass and volume. And chemical properties are any property that produces a change in the composition of matter, what is actually made up of, or what the properties make them up of. I'm sorry if that didn't make sense. It's what the content is made up of. So, for example, silver and oxygen create a tarnish, and the ability to burn is another way to explain a chemical property. And those are kind of like the ways that I look into it, and that's how I kind of remember things. So, thanks everybody, and I hope that helped.